All right, guys, welcome to the Team Panacea call. We do this call every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Central. This is your go-to place to kind of get recharged, figure out what's going on in the world of Beachbody. We'll get some tips and some learning material for you, and sometimes we have some guest speakers. And it's a really good place to come in and kind of get plugged in. You see everybody kind of chatting, saying hi back and forth down at the bottom, and the people who show up for the calls are the people who you generally see on the Success Club leaderboard and on the promotions on Thursdays. So welcome everybody who's here. We got a pretty decent crowd tonight. It's a really big week in Beachbody. A lot of us going to be going to Summit in the next couple of days. Cody and I are leaving in the morning, and really excited for our first time ever to be in Nashville, actually. So thank you very much for the call. Here comes Cody. Say hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Very funny. She's clever. All right, so the first thing we're going to go over promotions, and I think we only have one, and it would actually be our friend.
There's two promotions.
Oh, okay. Well, the first one is Michelle. She's a friend of ours, and she helps us out around the house here, and really great gal. She's just really taken to this business and kind of the design your life kind of lifestyle, and really excited to see where this young lady goes. Super excited.
You were telling us the second person.
Who? I don't see the second person.
Who is this?
Oh, I thought there was Michelle on both pictures.
Oh, God.
And Amanda Bruce, she became Emerald 2. Congratulations. The picture of Michelle was just so big, threw me off. Anyway, congratulations, Amanda. That's fantastic. I looked over these slides and everything.
Your flowers will be coming soon.
Shh. Okay. All right. So it's a kind of a slow month. We got to pick things up. I know that we're going to have this huge wave after Summit, but right now we've got one coach listed so far in Success Club 10 or more. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you guys. Right now I'm sitting at 0. I know I'm going to finish where I want to be, but it's a slower month. You see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody else on there? Just 5, right?
No.
5 names on here for Success Club 5. So we're going to hear a lot of great information. Size is going to be coming out. It's going to be coming out hopefully in the challenge pack, and it's going to be a great thing for our business. And we just don't forget to finish this month strong. Consistency is the key to this business. We're hovering around 3,700. That's what we had last week. And as people are joining and then others are getting canceled out or quitting, we're right at the 3,700 mark still. So congratulations, guys. It's just, there's some teams that are a lot bigger than ours, but it's a pretty sizable team, and nothing to be ashamed of. And I personally, I'm a little biased, but I think we've got the best team in the network. Our top recruiters are Kylie and Rachel. You see these ladies' names up here a lot. So congratulations, ladies. Rachel with 4 and Kylie with 3 coaches for the week. That tally is done, Thursday to Thursday. So congratulations, ladies. Well done. And, that's what it takes to build this business. That's how you find people who are excited like you are, actually. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about stories, right? And basically the power of a story and how it helps you tell your story and share that excitement and that inspiration with other people. And great stories happen to those who tell them. It's a quote by Ira Glass. And I think that you'll see that a lot of the coaches who are very successful, they tell their story very well. And it doesn't mean that they were always successful, right? And their story maybe wasn't always super powerful, but they told it in a way that sometimes even the content isn't as important as the feeling that you're giving to the person who's listening to your story. We're in the business of storytelling. When you share a story, you relive an experience and invite others to share it. In this way, we have people moving from you move people from focusing on the tangible and intangible qualities of products and services to memorableness. And where we came up with this, right? And when I say we, I mean Cody talking about this week's call. She's reading this book. It's called The Wisdom of Walt. Is that washed out? And that's just the folder for it. But, ironically, it's a leadership book focused on the way that Walt Disney ran his business. And, and they talk about that Walt Disney was a really great storyteller. And it's an interesting concept. I'm going to go off track here for just a minute. When you think about Disney World, right, and you think about Disney World versus Six Flags or Cedar Points or Parks or whatever it's called, all of these others, the difference between those theme parks and Disney World is Disney World tells a story, right? Every single ride in there is immersed into a story. And when you're waiting in line, or even when you're walking up to it, you can see the outer part of the ride, and it starts telling you the story. And then while you're waiting through the queue, they're still telling you the story. They're getting the story started. And so it brings people, it gives people a connection to the ride. Where when you sit at Six Flags and you just got a fan blowing on you and you're watching the same commercials for, Gatorade and Slim Jims and whatever else is playing on those stupid TVs that they have above you, it doesn't do anything to build the excitement or the anticipation of actually being on the ride. And I think that's a really big difference between Six Flags and Disney World. So, it just really goes to show for me, how you can do basically two things. Could be exactly the same ride, but you put it in Disney and it's going to be a completely different experience. So your story, right? Like I said, it may not be this awe-inspiring story yet, but I'm telling you guys, I remember when I first got started, I was so excited about the results that I was having with P90X that as I was telling my story, other people I could see that they were getting excited too. I remember specifically this guy named Chris Subia, where I was talking to him, and and I was like, man, I'm just telling you, when I'm talking to people and I'm telling them, it's funny how long I've been saying this, but when I'm talking to people and I'm telling you, if you do this and you do it right, it will absolutely work. It will absolutely change your life. I'm excited. And I remember Chris Subia, who was a really animated guy, and he's like, man, I'm excited too. I haven't even started yet, and you're getting me so excited. And, I think that that's indicative of why I had that kind of success, was because I was passionate and excited about my story. And at that point, my story was only that I was having really great results with the program. But I was passionate about those results, and I was passionate about sharing it with other people. And it's not a big, giant, long story, right? You have to make it relatable things. I used to tell people, I used to run out of breath just time. That are my story at that point. And then later it is, my story about my truck, right? If you guys have if you've been to hear me speak someplace, I probably told you about my truck, and that I bought a truck after we were watching Toy Story 3, and Cody said, what do you want to do? And I was like, I think I want to buy a truck. And we went over and we bought the truck, and I don't have to tell you the whole story again, but I'm making it real and I'm making it relatable. And honestly, it's not, I don't do that to get somebody to join my team, right? That's just the way that I tell stories, I guess. But if you have trouble telling your story, or if you have trouble sharing that with people, then I would encourage you to work on that, because my truck story has done very well for me, where I can talk about that. I used to ride in this 1990 Ford Ranger pickup truck that the tailgate wouldn't drop, and one of the tail lights was out, and it didn't have AC, and I'm 6'3", and I wore it like a sweater, and and people can see that in their mind as I'm talking to them. I like to think that they can see that in their mind. They can see this big guy in this truck with no one of the mirrors knocked off and I'm sweating because of no AC. And then we go to the movies. We go to Toy Story 3 and I'm there with my family and, and I'm talking about, we leave and I'm like, hey, I want to buy a truck. And we go across the street and we buy a truck. And I went on there and I was like, that's the one I want. And people can relate to you because you point out, you put those little caveats in there about that I'm out with my family. I've never been able to buy a vehicle that, that I would call a nice vehicle before. But now I can because of Beachbody, and this is how my life has changed. And you see the two pictures of the two different, of the houses and what Beachbody has done. And and I'll go off and say that if you don't feel like, if you don't have a financial success story yet, then keep that in mind, right? You just tell about the successes that you've gotten so far, or the dreams that you have, and then and then use somebody else's story. But I don't want you to, just go over the top and just constantly be talking to people, right? You need to ask a lot of questions and let them tell their story too, about why it is that they're interested in Beachbody, or why it is that they're interested in changing their financial situation, or why they're interested in changing their health and fitness situation, right? Let them tell their story too. It's just as important. Yes, of course.
I want to add to that real quick. Your story starts when you buy a challenge pack. Your story starts when you decide to become a coach. So think about the story you want to tell after you lost your first 5 pounds. Wasn't it amazing? Did something fit a little bit better? Were you a little bit more comfortable at the wedding you went to? Remember, stories tell that thing, whatever. Oh, is it? But just remember, like Clay said, you may not be far in your Beachbody journey. You might be in the middle of it. You might be in the very beginning. But every person has a story. The story to decide. The story, the story to, push play for the first time. The story to work out at home because it's where they found the time to do it. So just never underestimate where your story starts.
That's good.
Thank you.
This thing's held together with duct tape. Don't move it too much. So, and be the hero that you and your family and your business desperately need, right? Because your business is exactly where you deserve it to be. And it's up to you to be to make your business successful, right? So if this is something that you struggle with, this book, The Wisdom of Walt, is, chapter 4 is about storytelling. And Bo Eason, who's actually going to be one of the speakers at Summit, that's kind of like his wheelhouse is the power of your story. So get ready to take a lot of notes at his seminar too, for sure. So like Cody was just saying, how did that first 5 pounds when you lost it feel? How was it the first time that you may have seen one of those old Super Saturday videos where somebody told their husband, hey, fill the gas tank up, because they actually had enough money to fill a gas tank up instead of just putting in $10 or $20 or something because of Beachbody. So think about those stories. At some point for me, honestly, almost anything in life that I see, I can relate to something in Beachbody. What I was saying, and it really wasn't actually what I was saying as much as